Come on in the room. I know y'all wondering where I'm at. Y'all want to know where this backdrop at. Bitch, I'm in the front at Kmart trying to get a TV. Cause y'all know that's the only thing that be on sale during Black Friday for the last decade has been TVs. And I am going to ask the question that I have asked for the last decade. And that question is, Heifer, what happened to the last TV that you bought the last Black Friday? Now, I follow several people on Instagram, and many of them who work in retail have said that there are no Black Friday specials, that they have literally taken those same signs and pushed them in front of the old signs and tricked people into believing that they were Black Friday sales. Now, here's the thing: at in 2024, I would like to think that the average person knows that this stuff is not on sale for real, for real. And I would just like to think that the average person uses Black Friday as the kickoff for them to just buy their Christmas gifts, so on and so forth. Because I'm gonna tell y'all something. I got on here and advertised all my business about getting these TVs off the back of the truck, and I thought I was doing something until y'all dropped in the comments and let me know that instead of me doing something, something might have been doing me, because y'all told me that the cost of the TVs was cheaper in the doggone store. And I was gooped all in front of capacity on air. Nevertheless, happy Monday. I am hoping that y'all had an amazing Thanksgiving. I am one of those people who is joining the Plies campaign. Somebody asked me, did they get those boxes? They did collect all those boxes. Praise the Lord. I am one of those people that previously would eat on them leftovers all week, all into the next week. I can honestly say by Saturday, y'all, I was so over Thanksgiving food. By Saturday, I was already back ordering American Deli and everything, lemon pepper wings and everything else off of Uber Eats. I woke up this morning with a little craving for some ham and some collard greens, and I ate some ham and collard greens this morning. And then one of my homegirls who was at my house, she had texted me last night and said, could she come over and get some stuff today? And I said, well, good, because I was going to throw everything out that was still in the refrigerator portion. I was going to throw everything out today. Now, in the freezer, I got about 8 pieces of chicken. I got a half a ham. And I think I might have some dressing in the freezer. And all I'm going to do is just pull that out during one of my little get-togethers at my house. But by now, you should not be. Tonight should be tonight, Monday, a fresh week, a fresh start. Tonight should be your first time back cooking for your family, back eating out, back going to Chili's. I'm going to give you a little bit of leeway and say, if you cooked a new meat, if you cooked a new meat and you going to eat them same collard greens and you made some rice or something with it, I'm going to let that slide. If you going to cook a new meat and y'all going to like use that last little corner of that macaroni and cheese, I'm going to let that slide. But anything else, y'all should not be eating Thanksgiving food no more. I don't want to single nobody out, but we not that poor. We not that poor in 2024. We are not that poor in 2024. And for some of the girls who are that poor in 2024, do not let us upset your makeup and disturb your tears. You go ahead and eat your food, because might not be poor for Thanksgiving, but we're going to be poor by Christmas and can't pay our rent come January. And I told y'all what the hustle was. Let me tell y'all, for all the girls out there who need to understand the play. I put this post up on Instagram, and it was met with mixed reviews. All my landlords out there, if you happen to be renting to somebody who just happened to be poor, I'm here to let you know you're not going to get your January rent. You are not about to get your January rent, because I'm going to tell y'all what the girls going to do. The girls is going to use that January rent to buy them Christmas gifts. They're going to buy their Christmas gifts with their January rent. Then what they going to do, they're going to wait until about January. Oh, God damn these dogs. Riot and Rio. Come here. Stop making all this noise, because I know it's you. What the girls gonna do, they gonna wait, and they not gonna pay their January rent, okay? They gonna buy Christmas gifts with the January rent. Now, the people not gonna file for eviction until about January 10th, January 15th. So they're gonna go down there and file. After the people file eviction, it's gonna take the clerk about a week and a half to 2 weeks to process the eviction, and then to put the eviction notice to appear to the answer on your door. So that puts us in February. Once you get that eviction notice on your door that say you got to go to court at the top of February, you got 7 days to respond. You respond on the 7th day, and it's going to take them about 2 weeks to process and respond to your response. That puts you to the 3rd week in February. Okay, bam. When they respond to you that 3rd week in February, they're giving you a court date, which is about 2 weeks to 3 weeks out. That now puts you in the middle of March. Then when you go to court in the middle/end of March, then you go in there and tell the judge whatever you need to tell the judge. Oh, he didn't fix the roof. That's why I didn't pay the rent. It was leaking. That's why they didn't pay the rent. And then he's either going to find in your favor or not in your favor. Either way, when you go to court, you're going to get about another 7 days to vacate. If you're not out within them 7 days, that's when they're going to send it to the sheriff. Now, depending on if you live in a city that's backed up or not, the sheriff office still got to process it. Child, you been to the end of April by the time them people came to knock on your damn door. By then, child, y'all would have been got an advance on y'all income tax and could have went back and paid all the back rent and had a Merry Christmas, okay? Now, let me tell you something. That is what you call a ghetto ratchet hood Christmas. That's how you buy your baby all the shoes, all the Barbie dolls, all the Hot Wheels, and that's how you send them to school with all the nice stuff. But the people in the chat saying not no more, and they saying they'll put your stuff out. That at least was how it used to be. From what I'm gathering from the chat, the people saying that they kicking people out way longer than that. So somebody said, Q, did this happen to you? Several times, bitch. Several times. Now, not around Christmas. I never did it around Christmas for whatever reason. At the time, I just didn't have it to pay my rent. And I knew I had about 3-4 months to get it together and get all that back rent together before them people came and put me out. But for those of y'all, and then if you live somewhere in Florida, and some of these places, you can't even go to the court and file until the person is 30 days late. Okay? You can't even go file. Now, if you live in one of the places that you can't even go file until people 30 days, hey, baby, you got damn near to spring break to pay your damn rent. Okay? You good. Nevertheless, moral of the story is y'all go pay y'all rent on time. And then let's not forget, if you live somewhere like Chicago and New York, baby, they not even allowed to evict in January and February because it's snowing. That means y'all girls gonna have damn near to the start of the summer because they gonna be so backlogged down to the court from people who ain't paid their rent in November, December, January, February. Girl, by the time they process you who ain't paid your rent in January, baby, you got 2 months worth of people in front of you who ain't even paid their girl. Child, you could pay that rent when them kids get out of school for the summer. I'm just telling y'all just a little something, something on how to survive. Now, that's just in case you need to do that. I don't advise anybody to not pay their rent in an effort to buy their kids some Christmas gifts. And one of the girls she say, Samuel Abdullah say it takes 6 months minimum in Chicago. Back in Miami, it used to be like that too. And matter of fact, if you plan on moving, bump that landlord, baby. Use them 3 months to go get you a new place. And don't worry about no eviction being on your credit because it won't be on there yet. That's all. Now I'm gonna tell you, if you take that route, if you choose not to pay your rent in order for you to come up with first, last, and security, you just need to make sure you live at this new place for 6 or 7 years because you're going to have that eviction on your credit. Amen. Amen. Let's move right along. Down to the bar, Tampa. Tampa, I cannot wait to see y'all this weekend. I will be arriving in Tampa Friday, leaving on Monday. We are going to have a good time at 7th and Grove down in Tampa. Let me see what the tickets is giving real quick because over the holidays, somebody bought that one VIP ticket that was available. Y'all better get y'all tickets for Down to the Bar Tampa. Miss Kenny gonna be there. We're gonna have a great time. All right, y'all, let's jump into the show. We got two small pieces in the political corner this evening. Piece number one. Joe Biden has been met with mixed reactions after pardoning his son, Hunter Biden. All right, guys, here is the thing. I think that if we were just in a normal political situation, the Democrats lost, the Republicans won, everything was the way it was in the 90s and the early 2000s, I think that there would be a lot of outrage about this pardon, right? I think that there would be people saying, oh, this is an abuse of power, so on and so forth. I think now with Trump's current appointees, I think with him assigning people who was assistant managers at rental car places to be the damn deputy secretary of defense and him getting retired librarians to be the secretary of state, I don't think that there is a person alive who gives a damn about Joe Biden pardoning his son, especially considering the fact that the right used his son as a political pawn in this situation. They tried to lay it on real thick when it came to him. They were bringing out all type of stuff that had absolutely nothing to do with Joe Biden being old and with 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot out the Oval Office and 1 foot in the grave. I just honestly don't think that there's a reasonable person alive that honestly gives a damn, because we are all looking at what it is that Trump is doing, and we already know that he would do the same 10 times over. The simple fact that he's equating Hunter Biden, he said you let out Hunter Biden, but what about the J6 people who are in prison? The J6 people in prison need to be in prison, quiet as it's kept. If I'm going to be very honest with you, I think that Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, while they are currently in office and have some semblance of power, they need to just go ahead and burn the house down. They literally need to just go ahead and burn the damn house down. If I was Joe Biden, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I was Joe Biden, I would abuse every ounce of power that I had left in these remaining couple of days while I was in office. Baby, I would tell them people I'm deaf, dumb, mute, and senile, and every piece of part they put on my desk, I would sign. Everything that I was able to potentially sign using an executive order, I simply would do it. I simply would do it. What does he have to lose at this point? What does he have to lose at this point? Quiet as it's kept, he ain't got much life in him left past his. Let me close this door. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me put these dogs up. What does he have to lose? He's got absolutely nothing to lose. And we know Trump would have did the absolute same. Moving right along. Um, Donald Trump's alleged deportation plan could target as many as 1.1 million people in Florida. It seems like a lot of people thought that this does not apply to me. President-elect Donald Trump plans to declare undocumented immigration national emergency, may bring a major change to Florida, where 1.1 million residents, 5% of the population, are undocumented. Programs like DACA and temporary protected status, which have supported thousands in Florida, could be eliminated, raising fears for families and communities. Um, Miami-Dade County, home to 70% Hispanic population, could become ground zero for Trump's immigration policies, despite the county overwhelmingly voting for Trump. And immigrants support some of our key industries like agriculture, construction, and tourism. Now, here is the thing. All right. Now that the election stuff has died down, I'm going to be honest to you. We as Black people, and let me be clear here, we are no better than the MAGA people if we legitimately, just on the basis of race, are like, yeah, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. To a degree, it makes us no better than they are. However, I'll say this. I'm not going to celebrate or revel in anybody being attacked, but I damn sure don't have an inch of fight or bark in me for them. It saddens me. But if I'm being honest, and if I'm just letting the devil on my shoulder speak, and if I'm choosing to not be compassionate and empathetic, Miami is the perfect place to start. Why not start him? It would bring me, if I'm allowed to be bad, if I'm allowed to be bad for just 90 seconds, it would bring me nothing but joy for them to start in Miami. I'm born and raised in Miami. I am there. We have a large Latin American community, but we have a very large Cuban community. And for whatever reason, a lot of the Cubans, not only, and again, my issue, I will never care if you vote Democrat or Republican. I don't care. What bothers me is that if there is a racial undertone to the way that you lean, then that bothers me. We have a huge Cuban population in Miami. They come in, they think they're better than the Blacks and everybody else. And I don't know if that's a fault of theirs or if that's just a fault of the way that Black people are marketed globally. They come in, they think they white, they think they better than, they come in, and then you know, I'm speaking up for all the Latinos. Then a lot of the Latin community, they get in, but then want to close the door for the other Latin people behind them. They think they better than and all that. So you know what? Why not? I honestly think we should be celebrating, guys. Matter of fact, that's what we're gonna do. We are going to celebrate our government working for us. We are going to celebrate our government. And the sad part about it is, guys, because since he's been elected up until now, I have been following various stories online where these Latino families, some, not all, have been walking around saying things like, well, I don't think that he's going to get my family because we're good and we're hardworking. I think he's going to get the criminal Latinos or the criminal immigrants. And I'm just sitting here like, you can't possibly be that naive, Margaret. Margaret, you can't possibly be that naive to think that he is somehow going to skip over you and that you are somehow one of them. Like I'm just really confused here. And here is the other thing. Here is the beautiful thing about Trump being elected. And we're gonna say this and we're gonna move on. If any of you guys are like me, who are in proximity of white friends and people who were like, oh, Trump's not racist, prove to me how he's racist. Because I'm going to tell you something. Every single white person that voted for Donald Trump knows that this man is racist. But the reason that they are unwilling to say it is because they are crippled by how it reflects on them. They are unwilling to call him racist because they don't want that to reflect on them. And see, that's white people's biggest fear. Even though many of them are, they do not want to be labeled racist. It's literally their biggest fear. The point that I'm making now is, with the way that Trump is moving right now, do not sit back and allow a single white person in your life to gaslight you with this "he's not racist" thing. I don't play it with them. I don't play it with them. All the white friends that I have, they know when it comes to me, it's just best that we eat our margaritas and eat our nachos and our queso dip without even broaching this subject. Because if you want to broach it with me, I'm going to go there with you and I'm going to nail you into the ground that not only is he racist, but so are you. All right. And I know y'all saying blacks voted for Trump. Yeah, and they stupid too. Okay. They are stupid too. And here's the thing that's also bothersome. I was looking at Conscious Lee's video the other day when he was talking about, here is evidence of the fact that these people are racist and they only care about their billionaire and multi-hundred millionaire friends. As big as the gun problem is that we have in America, I think that we have a children getting shot up in the classroom problem that is bigger than our immigration problem, if you ask me. These people care more about corporations and corporate greed and robbing. This man is around here about to cut Medicaid and Medicare. Let me move on before we mess around and get mad, because this is a safe space where none of us are supposed to be plagued with the anxiety that's going to come along with this new administration. And I apologize for dragging that stuff into the funky bunch. Now, this is a very interesting story, guys, because I just happened to be at Quad's house yesterday. I was at Quad's house yesterday. I was bored. I called Quad, went over there, and we were going to get something to eat. And Tamar was bored. She ended up texting me, and Tamar ended up meeting me and Quad, and we hung out last night to about midnight having something to eat. But while I was at Quad's house, Dr. Heavenly called me. And Dr. Heavenly was like, Funky, what should I do in this situation? And I said, run the minutes. And she said, Dr. Simone just called me. And Dr. Simone said, Heavenly, we got to get to season 12. And she prefaced by saying, we got to get to season 12. Therefore, that's why on Watch What Happens Live, essentially, I validated the cheating rumors when it comes to Dr. Damon, trying to basically say, I didn't mean nothing by it. I'm just trying to create a little whatever to make us all get to season 12. Now, here is why this is low down before I play it. Let me give y'all some background on why this is extremely low down. It's low down because, number one, everybody knows that Dr. Damon is Dr. Heavenly's Achilles heel. Everybody knows that Dr. Heavenly's position on this show is, don't talk about my man, don't talk about my husband, don't whatever. Here is the second thing. I don't know if y'all are aware of this or if y'all are not aware of this, but during a time where Dr. Heavenly and Simone were really not getting along, Dr. Simone is quoted saying something to the effect of, Heavenly, I just want to see you go through something. Everybody else been through something. I just want to see you go through something. Meaning, we saw Jackie go through what she went through. We saw Toya go through what she went through at the house. We saw Quad go through what she went through. We saw Contessa go through what she went through. We saw Simone and Sisu go through what they went through. And she was saying, basically, And Heavenly doesn't make it any better. Let's not get it twisted by gloating and using the girl's business to get at them. But Simone was like, we want to see you go through something too. Now, here is the other thing, guys. We are 11 seasons in on Married to Medicine, okay? We are 11 seasons in on Married to Medicine. I've already told y'all, at this point, you cannot come to me saying, oh, I heard such and such was cheating. My homegirl go to the dentist on this side of town, and the valet who is married to the receptionist told me that they saw Dr. Damon. Here is the thing, y'all, and y'all got mad with me when I was reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville at the time when it came to Marceau Scott. At this point, if you cannot provide, and people saying, why is Heavenly's marriage off limits? Her marriage isn't off limits. It's not. But y'all don't have no evidence. Y'all have been saying since Mariah was on the show, y'all have been saying, Mariah, because I know Damon cheated. Do I have to pull the receipts? And you have not been able to furnish the receipts yet. You have not been able to furnish the receipts yet. So here is the thing. For all the people who hate Dr. Heavenly, for all the people who don't like Letitia Scott from Love and Marriage Huntsville, okay, and y'all want to see her go through something, and y'all just know, I just know Marceau is cheating. I just know Dr. Damon is cheating. Listen, you might know it in your heart, but if you can't quantify it with any proof, then why do y'all keep trying to do this to people? I don't think it's cool. I don't think it is cool. I just don't think, and somebody said, Q, you don't do this for nobody else's marriage. Because here y'all go with this bias stuff. Here is the thing. The difference for me, and when it comes to anybody else's marriage, is that when I'm discussing anybody else's marriage, it's what's going on. They are going through a divorce. They are going through a cheating scandal. Dr. Heavenly, and I know those of y'all who don't like Heavenly, y'all are going to go out of y'all way to make this about she's my friend. But it was the same thing with Tisha and Marceau. If y'all don't have any proof, we are 11 seasons in. We're 11 seasons in. Nobody has come forward. Nobody has a receipt. Nobody has a picture. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? And I'm not saying that you can't come for Heavenly. Heavenly is a bitch. Heavenly is a mean girl. Heavenly can be mean-spirited. Heavenly stirs up mess. Heavenly is all of those things. My whole thing is just come for her where it's true. Don't make up stuff about people, and don't run with rumors. Do not run with rumors if they're not true. But let's go ahead and get into this really quickly.
Simone Wesley O texted and wants to know if you had ever heard rumors of Damon's infidelity prior to the reunion, or did Sweet Tea make them up to hurt Heavenly?
Let me say this. I plead the fifth.
Okay.
But we can never say that based on how somebody looks that they would never cheat. Correct. You don't know who has the ability to cheat.
I will say this. This was my first time looking at the clip, and it wasn't as bad as Heavenly led me to believe it would be from the telephone. It wasn't as bad. And it is the God honest truth, though. It is. Everybody does have the ability to cheat. And she said she heard it. So here's what I'm finna do now. I'm finna back up and take just a little bit of what I said. I'm gonna just dial it down a notch just a little bit, because what Simone said wasn't as bad as Heavenly led me to believe it would be on the phone. Nevertheless, sure. By that measure, we've all heard rumors that Dr. Damon cheated. Contessa said he got a baby that got his name with somebody in the office. Simone said she got a client 6 years ago who said something in her office. Nevertheless, I just don't think it's cool, especially for two people who are trying to mend a relationship, for you to be pouring gasoline on somebody's marriage cheating rumors, so on and so forth. Moving right along, somebody else that's gaslighting us, y'all. And I ain't gonna get her together because I don't need y'all saying I hate black women. But listen to what Serena Williams has to say in relation to her skin bleaching allegations.
Usually I go back for a third time and then I put just that neutral color that is actually my skin color. And no, for you haters out there, I do not bleach my skin. There is a thing called sunlight. And in that sunlight, you get different colors. And if I'm not posting and recorrecting my pictures and posting from my daughter's, what is it? She had a play that I was volunteering on and had stage makeup on. Yes, I'm calling you out on this because it is ridiculous that everyone's like, oh, she bleached her skin. I'm a dark Black woman and I love who I am and I love how.
All right, here we go. Because this is what we're doing in 2024. In 2024, we're not allowing people to gaslight us. All right. Serena, in real life, you are probably a couple of shades lighter than me. So here is what I will say. We did just look at a video of her and she was not bleached. Okay. She was not bleached. But here is the next thing. You know, when you look at that picture, because this is what all the girls do, and it's something that annoys me. And please, y'all, stop doing this. Why, when y'all get on live and y'all are talking, the first thing y'all do is start playing with this hair? It's kind of like it's the movement. Hey, y'all, I'm coming at y'all with my Black Friday sale. I'll be selling 50% off. All the first thing y'all can't even, a lot of you women, y'all can't even get the message out because you too busy fingering. This is the new thing when you go live, just finger with your hair. And I'm excited about the website, guys. The website is www.50% off or whatever. So I bring that up to say, you're looking, somebody said it's nerve. It may be. You're looking at yourself in the camera. Now, me personally, y'all watch my show and y'all see how when I be on here with no color, the first thing I try to do is change the camera. I put my hand up like this to make the color come back and correct. The thing is, when you look at that camera and you see it with you looking light as LaToya Jackson, Serena, I'm not in your heart. I'm not in your psyche, but it's giving that you like it. Okay. It's giving that you like it because you don't try to change it. All right. And I don't know what filter it is you're using, quiet as I'm kept. When I appear lighter than I look, it makes me feel insecure. It makes me feel ugly. It makes me feel like y'all are about to get on the internet and make a whole bunch of videos about how I'm sick and I'm dusty and I look like I'm about to die. Okay. That is why I make it my business to try to bring the color back. It just concerns me that you don't have that same reflex mechanism, which may suggest to some people that you are comfortable with that broadcast of you looking like one of the white girls. It doesn't help the fact that you all the context clues are there, girl. And we might be putting 20 on 10, but I don't think so. You're married to this white man. You're occupying these white spaces. Serena, you are the only dark-skinned person who goes live on the internet who are always having these makeup issues. Loretta Devine don't have them. Coco Brown don't have them. Oprah ain't never had them. Angela Bassett ain't never had them. And quiet as it's kept, those girls are wearing more face makeup, stage makeup, theater makeup, around the house makeup, Kroger makeup, gas station makeup. They're wearing more makeup than you. You seem to be the only dark-skinned person who is having this. Is it your phone, love? Kelly Rowland don't have the problem. Vivica Fox don't have the problem. Like, uh, is you going live off a Razor phone? I'm confusion. So no, Serena, as much as we like you, then you don't get to get on the internet and make us the bad person. You don't get to get on the internet and call us haters. We're not haters, love. Your sister don't have the problem. Michelle Obama don't have the problem. Like, girl, you is not that rich that you going to that, you going to some secret island where the sun shines so bright that nobody else ain't never been. Marlo Hampton don't never have the problem. Candy Burris don't never have the problem. Why are you, Andrea Kelly don't have the problem. Tamika Raymond Foster Brown don't have the problem. Why are you the only dark-skinned person having the problem? Serena, you don't get to do this to us. Fantasia don't have a problem. Gabourey Sidibe don't have the problem. Cheryl Lee Ralph do not have the problem. Heather Headley get off the Lion King play with stage and theater makeup on and go do press and lives all day long, and they don't have this problem, Serena. And here is the other thing. It would seem to me, too, that knowing that this is a trending subject with you, knowing the minute you turn the live on and you looking like that, why not flip it? Why not flip to a filter that just looks like you? No, sis. No, sis. I'm going to call it what it is. If we going to go there, let's go there. All right. We're not going to pretend as a culture and as a people, we haven't just moved to a place. We're not going to pretend like we have not just moved to a place where we call Serena's look beautiful, okay? We're not going to pretend. Serena grew up in an environment and in an industry where people called her dark skinned and ugly, okay? She did. When Venus and Sir William were at their prime, and when they were when they were little and on the cover of magazines and stuff, we are not going to pretend like the girls were going up for them because they were so close to the beauty standard in this country. No, they deviate. They deviate from what America and the magazines says is pretty, and they were dark. And that gives anybody a complex. I'm pretty sure it does. You were called the ugly, dark-skinned girl, and you probably still have issues surrounding it. So when you get on that camera and you get to be light-skinned for 10 minutes, you feel good, and you want to shake your shoulders, and you want to do like this, and you want to feel fishy, and you want to be in your bag, and you want to do your hair like this, and you want to feel white. You want to feel rich and white and light and bright. We're not falling for it, girl. I'm going to move on, but we ain't falling for it. We are not falling for it. And speaking of one more person that's light and bright and can't get it right, I'm going to do this, and then we're going to talk to our guest next. Karen Huger, guys. And speaking of Karen Huger, guys, I'm giving y'all both the Married to Medicine and the Patanka videos tomorrow. I got to finish watching tonight. I was caught up today with a lot of pre-production stuff for my new show or whatever. But Karen Huger, a judge has denied Karen's request to suppress statements she made to the police and body cam footage from her DUI arrest. Court documents reveal that Karen, 61, was involved in a car accident in March while driving her 2017 Maserati, hitting a median, a street sign, and a tree. She was arrested, yada, 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 yada. Karen, y'all already know that TMZ is going to dig up this footage. And when they play it, Karen is going to be embarrassed down to the ground. And here is the thing. Karen, you would have never been having to face this level of embarrassment a year and a half, almost 2 years later, had you just owned it from the very beginning. See, now when this hits the fan, I'm not going to forget the coverage, Rhea. Now, when this hits the fan, you are going to have to be faced with the embarrassment of dealing with the DUI. But I'm going to tell you, you created a new problem because everybody already believed you were drunk and got a DUI. The new dagger that people are going to hit you with is that you are a liar and they are going to revel. People are sitting back waiting to revel in your embarrassment when this TMZ footage shows you drunk and whatever statements it is that you made to the police on body cam footage. And Karen, this is what's going to ruin your reputation. This is what's going to have people looking at you different in your circles. The fact that you tried to gaslight people, you tried to lie, and it is your second DUI. You got your first one in 2006, and now you got this one. And with that being said, Karen, you need some help. But listen, guys, I know y'all all love some good internet entertainment. Y'all love stories. We all love real life. That is why we all tune in to reality TV and other influencers and stuff. And there is nothing better, guys, than a real life ER, a real life Grey's Anatomy, a real life, tales from the triage room. And with that being said, I want to bring to y'all a doctor / content creator / entertainer that's here to talk to you guys about some of the stories, some of the goings ons, and some of the whatnots that go on in the ER. I present Dr. Jerissa. Dr. Jerissa, what's going on, love?
What's up, Dineva? Hey, Dineva. Thank you.
I am doing good. Dr. Jerissa, tell the people who you are, a little bit about yourself, and why you are here today.
All right. I am Dr. Jerissa, and I know the Funky Bunch, we want to see funky. So we like, who is this? Who is this Dineva got on here? Do I need to stay or do I need to mute? I get it. But thank you, Dineva, because I wanted to come on and really just kind of share some gems as it relates to emergency medicine. Right now, there's a lot that has been happening, in the media. Do a lot with gossip, celebrity gossip. And so also trying to use some of those stories and things that's happening to kind of bridge that and just educate people on what they can really expect, as it comes to the emergency room and health and lifestyle. So, we are going to be giving away some money. All right. So we got some cash out that we're going to be giving away $600 in this segment. All right, so more
$600, baby. $600 in this segment.
All right, so stay tuned for that. But what's she gonna talk about, right? So what are we gonna talk about? I wanted to kind of share. Number one, last week we know TD Jakes, Bishop TD Jakes. So we want to talk about that and CV stroke or TIA. What happened? He hasn't necessarily said what happened, but he has said what hasn't happened, right? Which is a stroke. I also wanted to talk about, this is a contest because I know they want to know, Wendy Williams. Last week, Wendy Williams came out, or at least her family came out and said that unfortunately, she has been deemed permanently disabled and demented. So we're going to talk about alcohol and how it may relate to dementia. Okay. We also going to talk about high blood pressure, hypertension, fat man scoop. Unfortunately, thankfully, his family came out and they shared that he died of heart disease. So we're going to talk about heart disease and high blood pressure. And then lastly, I know you're passionate about it, substance abuse, what we can do to really try to prevent that, because this season is holiday season. People are sad, depressed, anxious, getting high and drunk. And so what we can do, all right, to try to help prevent death.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So Bishop TD Jakes, what we saw, I was on the edge of my seat. Like, Lord Jesus, angels, ancestors, please don't. Please don't. We're so glad that everything went well. His family or his team has said it wasn't a stroke. What we see in the emergency room, those of us, when we saw that happening, we saw him shaking and we saw him kind of, slur speech, and it seemed as though he may kind of lose consciousness. When that happens, we know that some people in the community may say, oh, maybe they're overheated. Maybe they need, low sugar. They need to go sit down, rest, your stress. That is what we don't want to do. Okay. The best thing that happened at that time is for him to get immediate care. Okay. He went straight to the emergency room, because what can happen, it might not have been a stroke, but it absolutely could have been something like what we call a TIA, a transient ischemic attack. And so in that case, you will get better. Okay. You will likely go rest, go to sleep 30 minutes. Oh, go over there, sit down, rest, relax. And then the next thing you know, 3 weeks or 3 months later, you didn't have a full-blown stroke at that time. All right. So the benefit of going in right away, we know also that he had what they said was emergent surgery. So what can happen is if you go in time, all right, perhaps maybe it's something like an emboli or a thrombus or a plaque that could come from here, or the heart, legs, and then here. The doctors can go in and either stabilize that clot. Okay, that is surgery. They can go in and stabilize that clot, or they can bust the clot. All right. Either way, it saves a life. So when you go to the emergency room, you need to go. All right. Don't wait for something like that. Don't think, oh, it's just going to get better. Don't do that. So you need to, number one, get a CAT scan. The CAT scan oftentimes is normal. As an ER doctor, that CAT scan a lot of times is normal. What's the next thing you got to do then? Do not let them discharge you, okay, without having an MRI schedule or carotid Doppler schedule, or able to check your legs, because that's where it starts from. All right. You don't have health insurance. We know you're talking about it. People losing Medicaid, things like that. If you don't have health insurance, and if you don't have a primary care doctor, we know you need to know that there could be a delay in you getting these tests. A CAT scan is not enough. Right? A CAT scan is not enough. You need to have an MRI, and you got to get the carotid Dopplers to see. Okay. Real story. There are people that have blockage here, but because they found out, they were able to reverse that blockage. Okay. Either with medicine, some people are like, I don't want to take no pills, or lifestyle changes. You do things to change your lifestyle when you know. All right. So that's TD Jakes, and we're Bishop TD Jakes. So glad that he was able to recover from that, and just trying to use that, what we saw, the symptoms, to let you know that TIA could be a risk. Wendy Williams. All right. Wendy Williams, that documentary was tough to see. It was tough to see as a fan. It was tough to see as a clinician, as a doctor. When it comes to something like dementia and somebody that struggles with alcohol, okay, this is key. A lot of people think alcohol liver, alcohol cirrhosis, right? We kind of think that, right? But we don't think that alcohol can affect here. And what is it that could potentially help prevent it? If you or your family member or a friend struggles with something like alcoholism, okay, the worst thing you can do is to stay in denial. All right. People that are drunk come to the ER all the time. They're in the ER all the time. We having a good time. They drunk. They either going to be admitted, or because they're too drunk to go home, or they may be admitted because they're going through withdrawal. Okay. And so if they're going through withdrawal, guess what? We are going to give them the nutrients, that they need. We know, Dineva, your proposal of, the IV infusions, you had a good night out, you're going to get your
most definitely.
Right. And the problem is not everybody can afford it.
Right.
But if you do struggle with something like alcoholism, it is important for you to have those nutrients. And so if you're in denial,
you can't get them.
You ain't gonna get it. So what are the nutrients that we need, Dr. Teresa? You need, number one, thiamine, right? Thiamine, folate, and the vitamin Bs. So if you're in denial, you're not gonna get it. if you're deficient, a lot of people that's not even alcoholics, we're deficient in those things.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're deficient in that, and you also do heavy drinking, unfortunately, that combination can affect here.
Mm-hmm.
So then you end up with something, perhaps, maybe that's what she has, dementia or Wernicke encephalopathy. I think somebody put it in there. They smart, right? Wernicke encephalopathy, where it's dementia related to alcohol abuse because you are deficient in these nutrients. All right. Now, Fat Man Scoop, his family came out and they actually were very transparent. Fat Man Scoop in August, he collapsed on the stage. They came out and said that it was due to heart disease. Okay. And so let's get into it because he was young. Why? Collapsing on stage. Everybody wants to know why or what we can do to help prevent that. So what we think, because there's a number of reasons for heart disease, but the number one cause, all right, the most common is what many of us suffer from in the community, which is high blood pressure. Okay. So if you have, or your family member has high blood pressure and it ain't controlled, you are at risk for heart disease or congestive heart failure. And so what happens is instead of your heart pumping like it usually would pump, it ends up pumping like this. Okay. And so it's not working, even though it's bigger, it's not working as efficient. And so unfortunately, you can do something like collapse suddenly and die. But listen, blood pressure can be controlled. And so if you come to the emergency room for something like high blood pressure, you think we're going to start you on medication. We may not. All right. So that's the purpose of this. Also, you guys follow me, social media. I'll be doing lives like this, Trauma Thursdays. But the emergency room may not start you on blood pressure medication. Okay. The benefit of what you need to do also is following up with your primary care doctor, making sure, here's what you need to do. Before you leave that appointment, you need to already have another appointment in 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Don't leave there without another appointment. And then another appointment on there. Because what happens is when you get ready to see your doctor on the day you want to see him, what they're going to tell you?
Your stuff going to be fine.
And they're going to tell you to go to the emergency room. They ain't going to be able to see you. You know what I'm saying? They're going to tell you to go to the ER. That's what they always do. Go to the ER. Okay. And so that's why something like blood pressure, we hate when people are on medication and it's not controlled. So you're trying it, right? But it's not working. That's because you do have to follow back up. Okay.
With your doctor.
And make sure that it is controlled. All right. The last thing, as we move into 2025, of course, we're going into the holidays right now. A lot of us were happy at the table last weekend, Thanksgiving, eating our turkey and dressing. But in the emergency room, people came in sad, anxious, depressed, suicidal, high, drunk. Okay, so let's be real right now. All right, people do struggle with substance abuse. And that's one of the hardest cold blues, all right, the cold blues that we see is substance abuse, fentanyl overdose, accidental overdoses like that. How can we prevent it, Dr. Teresa? How can we prevent it? I ain't an ambassador for this. I'm just an ER doctor trying to be a resource, all right? Narcan is available, y'all. You don't need a prescription. You just go to the pharmacy. You ain't even got to go to the back of the pharmacy. They got it up front with the Nicorettes and all the gum, the stop cigarettes. It's up there, right? It's $45, y'all. If you know, because these are hard cold blues when it could be prevented. If you know someone that's struggling with substance abuse, I want to let you know this is there. Okay, do not just walk past them that they're sleeping. Okay, you squirt, they gonna wake up all mad. Okay, you done broke the high. Okay, but they are alive. Okay, so Narcan is available. Please, y'all, if you know someone struggling with it, let them know to get it. You know to get it. It's real easy. You squirt, because those are the tough cold blues when someone is struggling with alcohol and substance abuse. All right. So now I see all the cash apps.
The cash, and they want to get to the cash.
The money. So all y'all have to do, thank you, Dineva.
You're welcome.
We'll let your team know tomorrow afternoon. You do have to do 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go to Dr. Jerisa. It's spelled wrong there, but Jerisa_Berry. And then Jerisa, and then that's number 1.
Hold on, where's it spelled? Where's it spelled incorrectly at? It's
it's
Dr.
Jerisa.
Oh, Jerija. Yep, I had it wrong right there.
Okay, so yeah, y'all go there. Follow me on Instagram. I will be doing lives like this. You can talk to me, ER Doctor Trauma Thursdays. That's it. Go there, follow. Now, the second thing you got to do, you do have to go to drjerisa.com. I ain't gonna be spamming y'all because I don't like that myself. But give your email so that way we have that just in case, in case. And then the third thing is you do have to go to YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Dr. Jerisa, and then we will be giving away Cash App for those that do those 3 things. All right, those 3 things to the Funky Bunch.
And we will announce it tomorrow?
Yeah.
We're going to announce it tomorrow, y'all. So y'all know that it ain't no scam. We are going to announce it tomorrow. For those of you who do the 3 things, you got to go to drjerisa.com. You got to go to that Instagram. You got to go to that YouTube and follow. And all of the links are down below. Somebody says, where do we put our emails in? When you go to her website, that is where you will put your email information to join her mailing list. Dr. Jerisa, is there anything else you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
I mean, there's a lot. Randy Moss came out. Thankfully, he said he has an emergency, internal issue. And so we hoping and praying that he'll be able to get through that. Of course, Tommy Lee showed her feet when she was in the hospital. We don't know what's happening with that. But, we want all of them to get through that. Be mindful of your physicals, your checkups, get all that stuff done, colonoscopies, all that stuff, as you get ready to go into the new year. I don't know. I'm nervous like you with Project 25.
That part. With that being said, Dr. Jerisa, we look forward to hearing from you tomorrow. And thank you so much. All of you guys out there, be sure to go to all of her social media platforms to get content very similar to what we were talking about. And I love how she ties in pop culture with medical health, making it digestible for some of us who don't like all that high language Dr. Oz talk. You can go get it in digestible sizes and quantities at all of the Dr. Jerisa Berry social media content. With that being said, Dr. Jerisa, you have a very, very, very good night. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Y'all don't forget to go over to all 3 of those platforms. Follow, like, subscribe, put your email address in to be eligible for the Cash App giveaway that we will be announcing tomorrow. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. If Drea ass get put out, she going to need to go to the emergency room because it's cold out there, y'all. And, yeah, buddy, on Thanksgiving, Drea, that man trying to get her out his house. Hold on, let me move this banner and make it scroll. Hold on, let me make this banner scroll. There we go. This man is trying to get Drea up at his house. So the sheriffs were involved as Drea Michelle's ex, Tyrod Taylor, initiates eviction lawsuit in Los Angeles dispute. Drea Michelle reportedly hit the courtroom just days after the sheriff showed up to her LA home, attempting to lock her out as she's still in a legal dispute with her ex. Court documents obtained by InTouch show that Drea, who was 39, shared with officers rolled up at her California home on November 20th, around the week before Thanksgiving. The news outlet reports that Drea stated she received an alarming phone call from her children's nanny while she was away on a business trip that the sheriffs were at the subject's property to lock the occupant out the property. Drea said she wasted no time and called her lawyer, who sped over to her house to handle the situation. The model revealed that this is when she found out Tyrod's company had filed an eviction lawsuit against her. She mentions that a default judgment had been issued in the case. Drea pointed out that she never got served with any paperwork, and neither Tyrod, who is 35, nor his legal team bothered to clue her in on the situation. All right, y'all. So here's the thing. I'm not even going to get into the legal nitty-gritty of all of this. The reality of the situation is whatever is going on and whatever the agreement was with y'all, the simple fact that he is even able to go to the court and file eviction, as far as I'm concerned, is all I need to know. That is his property. Clearly, y'all don't have anything on paper that's preventing you from being able to get evicted if the court went as far as they went. Now, here is my other thing, and I may be wrong here. You got a baby. You got a baby from this new young guy, and this new young guy got all this money. I'm not understanding why your new man did not do what Bruce Jenner did when it came to Kris Jenner and her ongoing divorce with Robert Kardashian. Bruce Jenner picked up the phone, called Robert Kardashian, and told him, don't worry about it. Just give her the divorce. I will take care of the kids and I will take care of her. It's a house. It's a house. For one, I'm not understanding why your new dude even wants you and his baby in your old dude house. Number two, I'm not understanding how you let a man put a baby in you and he ain't put a house key in your hand. You not around his house? He all up in your womb and in your uterus, but you not around his house? Baby, when them sheriffs would have came to lock me out their house, they would have been locking out empty space. Because all my stuff and my children would have been at the new man house. I'm just confused. And it's like they saying Drea claims she bought the home. That's not possible, love, if he's able to go to court and file eviction on you. Something just ain't right. Whatever it is and whatever was agreed upon, something simply is not right. They're saying that she says she invested $3 million in the home and that's why she doesn't want to leave. So what? So what? The judge is going to tell you. The judge is going to tell you, sue him civilly. Now, Drea and her team do have a point, right? Like, she says she's never been served, but some of us also know how that eviction game. Well, no, it's impossible that you weren't served, Drea. I was finna say they had a verbal agreement, but it's also impossible, Drea, that you were not served because the sheriff, they come and put the notice on the door. They come and put the notice on the door. Oh, well. Moving right along. A lot of people were upset about the young man who aired out Khalid, Hugo Diamante. He outed singer Khalid, and I love the way Khalid handled it because it very much went, okay, I've been outed. What's next? The young man, in my opinion, was striving for fame and ended up with infamy. And now wants to backpedal and pussy pop and now basically make it seem as if he was not in his right mind when he did what he did to Khalid. And so now I'm not going to bother or waste none of our time reading all of this. But in short, this boy says that due to Khalid in their social circles passing around word that he broke into his house, he was under so much mental duress that he went into a psychosis. And it was during his psychosis that he outed Khalid. And the reality of the situation is nobody is buying any of this. Nobody's buying any of it. There's been some online reporting that essentially reduces this light-skinned young man to a glorified escort, you know? Now let's have a conversation. Because if we're gonna have it, we're gonna have it. By no stretch of the imagination do I think Khalid is unattractive. I don't. I think that Khalid is an attractive gentleman. I think he's handsome. But when you stand Khalid up with no clothes on and you stand Hugo up with no clothes on, there is an argument to be made that independent of money, Khalid would have never been able to pull somebody that looks like Hugo. And Hugo probably would not look at somebody who looks like and is shaped like Khalid, probably wouldn't look at him twice. And that's not me being mean, it's the reality of the situation. So what ends up happening? In short, Khalid and men and women like Khalid, one way or another, they end up paying for company. They end up paying for company. Okay. And this is the outcome. This is what happened when you mess with low-level punks. This is what happens when you mess with low-level punks that are just with you for your money. This is what happens. Khalid, you know damn well before your music career, this boy would have looked at you twice. He wouldn't have looked at you twice. And then y'all run out and y'all get these people and you have to wine them and dine them in order to keep them, because they're not there with you for real, for real. They're there for the money and the access. And this is what happens. And I've seen it happen on the gay scene so many times. I've seen it happen in the entertainment scene so many times. It happens with men and women alike. I ain't gonna bring nobody else into it, but it happens a lot in this situation. And last but not least, guys, we've got Nick Cannon, who has revealed to us that he has been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. And is saying that while he doesn't fully understand it, he knows that he needs to get help. He says, I feel like there are so many labels out there, but being able to embrace it and say, look, I'm healing, I need help, show me, he told the magazine. The father of 12 also reflected on an earlier diagnosis of ADHD and dyslexia, which helped him recognize that he was neurodivergent. I kind of always knew, he explained. Now Cannon is focused on balancing his role as an example for others with his own ongoing self-healing process. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not going to say that I knew he was narcissistic or was a narcissist, but I will say this: I think any of us knew that he was full of himself. Only somebody who's walking around with a certain level of some type of God complex only somebody who walks around with a certain level of a God complex goes around and has 12 children from a bunch of different people, and think that it's okay and think that it's cute and don't hang their head in shame. I'll say this though, we always tell people to get help and go to counseling and so on and so forth. And Nick did that. And for that, I'm not going to negatively reward him for coming out with the news. If anything, we need to take our I told you so's, and we already know, and we need to actually now, fortify him and lift him up. This is what we always tell people we want them to do. You need to go get help. You need to go get help. You need to go get counseling. Well, he went and get counseling, and we not finna beat him down for doing so. So, Nick, I think it's big of you that you went and got some help. I hope that, revealing any and all of this is no way you, trying to further the storyline, and that you actually get the help that you need. It's just unfortunate that the help now comes as a result of you having 12 children. And the new thing is we are not now going to use neurodivergent, autism, and on the spectrum to describe people's poor decision making and bad behaviors. Because Nick, I'm not a doctor, but much of your behavior was rooted in you being a pompous asshole. Okay? Much of it was rooted in you being a pompous asshole. And that's just the short of it. Ain't that much neurodivergency in the world, and ain't that much narcissism in the world. And you know what? And maybe the narcissism is you coming on here trying to sell us this story. But brother, you went and got a little piece of help. And I guess we can root for that and be thankful for that. With that being said, y'all, go ahead and get your Down to the Bar Tampa tickets. We're going to have a real good time this weekend. We're going to have a real good time. Throw away your Thanksgiving food. And don't forget to go over to all of Dr. Jarissa's platforms, her website, her Instagram, and her YouTube. Sign up for all in order to be eligible to receive the cash through the Cash App giveaway that we will be announcing tomorrow on the show. And with that being said, y'all, thank you. Good night. And y'all have a good one.